Have you ever found yourself stuck in a rut, resistant to change? It's a common human trait. We all tend to find comfort in the familiar. But what if I told you there's a brilliant book out there that might just help you see things differently? The book is Who Moved My Cheese by Dr. Spencer Johnson, a renowned author and motivational speaker. This book is not just words on pages. It's essentially a journey into a maze, a metaphorical maze, inhabited by 4 distinct characters. These characters are on a constant hunt for cheese. But wait, this cheese isn't just dairy. It's a symbol for what we want in life: success, happiness, money, or recognition. The core theme of this book is change and adaptability. It explores how these characters react when their cheese is moved or when their circumstances change. Who Moved My Cheese is a metaphorical exploration of how different individuals react to change. Let's dive into their journey. Imagine living in a maze, your life revolving around finding and enjoying cheese. Quite a scenario, isn't it? Now, let's meet our 4 characters who live this reality in the pages of Who Moved My Cheese. We have 2 little mice, Sniff and Scurry, and 2 tiny humans, Hem and Haw. They're all on a quest for cheese, which, in this context, stands as a metaphor for what we all desire in our lives. It could be a fulfilling job, a loving relationship, financial stability, or a clean bill of health. Sniff, as his name suggests, is a proactive mouse. He's always sniffing out the situation, anticipating changes, and ready to take action. His compatriot Scurry is all about the hustle. He wastes no time scurrying into action as soon as he senses change. Together, they represent a simple, instinctive approach to change. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Hem and Haw, the little people that act out the complex human response to change. Hem is resistant, always clinging to his comfort zone, refusing to accept the change. He spends his time hemming and hawing, stuck in denial. Haw, though initially resistant like Hem, eventually learns to adapt. He overcomes his fears and steps out of his comfort zone, realizing that change, though scary, often leads to better opportunities. He embodies the process of learning, growing, and adapting to change. Now, here's the twist. The cheese is not a constant. It moves, it dwindles, it disappears. And how each character responds to this change is a fascinating exploration of our own behaviors. Sniff and Scurry quickly move on, seeking new cheese. Hem remains stuck, refusing to accept the change. And Haw, though he struggles, learns to move with the cheese, adapting and growing. Each character's reaction to the cheese's disappearance is a reflection of our own responses to change. So, as we delve deeper into their maze, ask yourself, which character do you see in your reflection? How do you react when what you desire suddenly vanishes? Now, let's delve into the reactions of Sniff and Scurry, the 2 little characters who embody adaptability and immediate response to change in our tale. Sniff and Scurry, the mice, are driven by their instincts. They aren't burdened by complex thoughts or emotions. When they discover that their cheese, their primary source of sustenance, is gone, they don't wallow in despair or point fingers. Instead, they acknowledge the new reality and get to work. They exhibit an impressive level of acceptance almost instantaneously. There's no denial, no futile hope that the cheese might miraculously reappear. They accept that their cheese is gone. It's a simple fact, as clear-cut and undeniable as the day and night. Their reaction is straightforward and unencumbered by overthinking. The cheese is gone, so they need to find more. This quick acceptance is coupled with an admirable adaptability. The environment has changed, and so they must change with it. They're not tied down by past routines or comfort zones. Instead, they're ready to explore, to venture into the unknown, and to face whatever comes their way. And so, without wasting any time, Sniff and Scurry set off in search of new cheese. They don't know where it is or how long it will take to find it. But they're not deterred. They're driven by their need, their desire to find more cheese. They're ready to face new challenges, to adapt, and to move forward. In the grand scheme of things, Sniff and Scurry are more than just characters in a tale. They're embodiments of a mindset, a way of life. They show us that change is inevitable, and that it's not something to be feared or avoided. Rather, it's something to be embraced and adapted to. Sniff and Scurry show us that it is possible to quickly adapt to change and move forward without fear. They remind us that when faced with change, we can choose to adapt and move on, or we can resist and be left behind. The choice ultimately is ours to make. What if you refuse to accept that your cheese is gone? Picture this. You're Hem and Haw, the other two characters in our story. Unlike Sniff and Scurry, who quickly adapt to the disappearance of their cheese, Hem and Haw are a different pair altogether. They embody resistance, fear, and denial, the all-too-human reaction to change. When Hem and Haw find their cheese gone, they are shocked. They had assumed the cheese, their comfort, their routine, their status quo would always be there. They had taken it for granted. Their initial reaction is disbelief, followed by anger. They feel betrayed, as if the cheese, their world, owed them a constant supply. But the cheese is gone, and it's not coming back. Here's where their resistance kicks in. Hem and Haw refuse to accept this new reality. They keep returning to the empty cheese station, hoping against hope that the cheese will magically reappear. They are stuck in a loop, refusing to let go of their old ways, their old cheese. Their fear holds them back. They're afraid of the unknown, of what lies outside their cheese station. They fear the risk of seeking new cheese might be greater than the safety of not having any cheese. This fear paralyzes them, causing them to remain in their comfort zone even though it's no longer comfortable. Their denial is the third part of their reaction. They convince themselves that their cheese will return if they just wait long enough. They deny the need for change, for action. This denial leads to frustration and stagnation. They are not moving forward. They are not finding new cheese. Hem and Haw's story is a cautionary tale. It illustrates the dangers of resistance to change, of letting fear and denial hold us back. It shows us how refusing to accept change can lead to frustration and stagnation. It's a stark reminder that change is inevitable, and we need to adapt, just like Sniff and Scurry. Hem and Haw represent those of us who resist change, preferring to stay in our comfort zones. But remember, comfort zones seldom lead to growth or new cheese. So, what can we learn from these four characters? Let's distill the wisdom from the pages of Who Moved My Cheese and see what valuable lessons we can glean. As we journeyed through the maze with Sniff, Scurry, Hem, and Haw, we discovered that each character represents a distinct approach to change. Firstly, we learned the importance of adaptability, beautifully embodied by Sniff and Scurry. They teach us that in the ever-shifting maze of life, being able to sniff out change and scurry towards new opportunities is a vital skill. They remind us that when our cheese has moved, it's time for us to move as well, and not just sit around lamenting the loss. On the flip side, we also saw the perils of fear and stagnation through the eyes of Hem and Haw. Hem's reluctance to leave his comfort zone and Haw's initial hesitation illustrate the dangers of resisting change. When we cling to our old cheese, fearing the unknown, we risk missing out on the new cheese waiting for us. Haw eventually realizes that change isn't something to fear, but rather an opportunity to embrace. His journey teaches us that stepping out of our comfort zones can lead to growth, discovery, and new, even tastier cheese. He shows us that change can be a catalyst for improvement if only we choose to see it that way. I invite you to reflect on these lessons. Which character do you identify with most? Are you quick to adapt like Sniff and Scurry, or do you hesitate like Hem and Haw? Do you embrace change or resist it? Remember, it's not just about identifying these traits within us, but also about understanding how we can better react to change. We can learn to sniff out change sooner, to scurry towards new opportunities, to step out of our comfort zones, and to look forward to the new cheese. Change is inevitable, but how we react to it is a choice. Remember, the quicker we let go of old cheese, the sooner we can enjoy new cheese. In the end, it all boils down to one simple question. This question, my friends, is how we respond when our proverbial cheese is moved. We've journeyed together through the maze of Who Moved My Cheese, discovering the characters and the lessons they offer. We've seen the adaptable Sniff and Scurry, who swiftly move with change, and the resistant Hem and Haw, who struggle and stumble. This book invites us all to reflect on our own reactions to change. Are we quick to adapt, or do we resist and fear the unknown? It encourages us to embrace change, to sniff out new opportunities and scurry towards them with courage and determination. It's about understanding that change is inevitable, and the real power lies in our ability to adapt and grow with it. So, next time when life moves your cheese, will you sniff and scurry, or will you hem and haw?